Hello guys, this is Aeonset bringing you another new friendly video. This one is dedicated to crew skills. So, once you hit about level 10, you'll actually come to the fleet and you can find this little quest called Crafting Trainers. Wherever you're coming from, Corbin or Hudda, you'll always come in right here. As a matter of fact, the quest is available right here at the bounty board. And these four guys right here help get you started picking your advanced class, so try not to miss those, because the advanced class really does. It's nice. Some people seem to not realize that, and they'll go to like level 15 before they realize, oh, hey, I can choose an advanced class. Your advanced class will give you all kinds of stuff, but that's a whole nother video. Anyways, this one's dedicated to crew skills. Now, depending on if you're free, preferred, or sub, will depend on how many crew skills you have, or are able to get. I am able to get 3 because I am subscribed. Typically, the way it works is you've got a production and you've got 2 gathering. You got one gathering which helps you in the field, and another gathering which typically requires you, that will get specialized items, however requires you to send your companions out to do it. Now, we're just going to start doing a brief overview of all of them. Now, whenever you come to the fleet, if you're level 9 or something like that, whenever you actually talk to one of these guys, you don't have to learn it, you actually gain a codex entry. That can give you some bonus experience if you got to get to level 9 or 10 or whichever level you may be. But first one up is Diplomacy, and when in doubt, you can always go to your codex under the section of crew skills. As you can see, there's 14. First one is Diplomacy. Diplomacy is used primarily for biochem. It's how you can get medical supplies, but it can also give you a bonus to your light side or dark side points, as well as getting companion gifts. The second we have here is Investigation. I've actually never used this one myself, but you can use it for all of them, but it's recommended also for arms tech. Now, Investigation is one of, just like Diplomacy, is one of those that requires crew members to actually go out and do it. Now, schematics are important in case you want to find some more gear that you can make, and it's also a good way to find orange items, or I call them moddables, some people call them prototypes, some call them artifact. All depend on the thing. The point is, orange items typically will have 3 mod slots for you to keep customizing your items, and you can use it for however long you want until you find a new look. Now, moving on. Crew skill number 3, Underworld Trading. Underworld Trading is a fun level 1. It's good for armor mech, cybernetics, and synth weaving. It'll give you what's called luxury fabrics and underworld metals. You need the underworld metals for your armor mech, and you need luxury fabrics for synth weaving. And I'll clarify the difference between the 2 of those later. Now, Cybertech can use the underworld metals to create droid armor. However, when it comes to using it with Cybertech, more times than not, you're going to be using Underworld Trading to actually gain companion gifts. And this is actually a good way to get companion gifts, is Underworld Trading. Next up we have Treasure Hunting, which works extremely well with the Artifice. Artifice using treasure hunting is how you can get your rare gemstones to construct like your hilts and color crystals and your generators and all of that. Treasure hunting also offers companion gifts that you can find. Moving on. Slicing. Back in the day, this was a money maker. Then they nerfed it to where it didn't make money, and then they beefed it back up. Anyways, slicing is one that can actually be used for all, because it can give you an item which allows you to do special missions or higher payout missions. So if you want it, you can do this, and if you don't want to go for the mission schematics, you can always go for the lockboxes, because slicing has been increased to at least where you can at least make a profit. Matter of fact, I will probably be doing slicing on this character, as I've got so many cybertechs with the extra skills of scavenging, and my other one, I can't think of it right now, but I'll remember it when I go to it. Actually, it's Underworld Trading. Yeah. So, instead of taking Underworld Trading this time, I'll actually be doing slicing, but slicing is good for coming up with schematics and mission discoveries. Actually, I'm going to get that. And if you got the quest, talk to them again. Finish that quest out. Next up is scavenging. I'm going to trade it because that's where this is where you are able to. It's beneficial for Armor Mech, Arms Tech, and Cyber Tech, pretty much non-Force users. It'll allow you to scavenge base materials or even fallen droids. When you destroy certain droids, someone can actually be scavenged if you got the right level. You may have seen some of my previous videos where I actually went and scavenged other droids, and it shows you the level and the benefits and all that. Well, that's where scavenging comes in pretty handy. Scavenging and slicing are considered gathering skills. You can do them on your own or while you're out in the field. Bioanalysis is another field gathering skill that is used when it comes to biochem. It allows you to extract everything you need to make your med packs and all that at basic level. Now, if you're going to make advanced level stuff, such as prototype or artifact grade equipment of any kind, you will actually need your specialized, such as treasure hunting or underworld trading, or you'll have to go to the GTN. Now, this is archaeology, used for artifice and synth weaving. You'll see crystals and relics out in the field, and artifice can collect those in order to make their items for artifice or synth weaving, or you can just sell them at the GTN. Everybody has their own view of it. Artifice can actually take the crystals and relics and convert them into power crystals, color crystals, hilts, and all sorts of stuff dedicated specifically for Force users. And that is where Artifice comes in handy. If you are a non-Force user, there's really no reason for you to do Artifice unless you really, really want to. But none of your companions use it, so... Anyways, also in your codex, if you have any more questions, you can always look and it'll tell you everything you need to know about each one. That's why I've been pausing and bringing each screen up for you guys to see. You can always pause the video while the information's up if you want to get a more in-depth look and try and plan it out before. Sorry, I gotta pause the video real quick. There's a glitch that exists where you cannot inspect a person, you can only see your own items. I wanted to see what jacket they had. It's an awesome jacket. Anyways, biochem, very useful for tanks or people who don't like a lot of downtime. This is where you can make your stem packs, your med packs, and all that other stuff. And biochem, along with Cybertech, are two of the biggest money makers for in-game because everybody's going to be using med packs, and Cybertech can do the high-level armor mods through re-engineering. Now, when it comes to biochem, your normal quality and your prototype or blue quality med packs can be sold and everybody else can use them. However, high-level biochems can actually make a artifact quality, which only they can use, and it's a reusable med pack or reusable boost stem. Essentially, take this stem right here, make it permanent. Instead of only having like 2 to use, I'd only need 1. That's nice. This is one of the cartel items, by the way. That's essentially the equivalent of 410 HP at level 10. Anyways, my favorite, Cybertech. Go ahead and trade everything I can. Cybertech allows you to make your droid parts, your grenades, your earpieces. Oh, and correction on the previous on biochem. Biochem can actually make your implants. Cybertech will make your earpieces. Now, using Cybertech, you can re-engineer armoring mods and the armoring mods and the, let me think of the right name for it, the normal mods. I mean, you got armoring and you got mod. Those two are made through Cybertech, and that's why it becomes very valuable later on, because once you get, say, a Rakata gear or something where you can take the armoring mods out, those can be re-engineered to make a lot of money. So the Cybertech's a good one. And to those who don't know, the grenades are actually quite useful in PvP. Yeah, they have a 1 to 2 minute cooldown, but when your Warzone's not going to probably last that long, a minute to 2 minutes goes by really quick. Freezing grenades or something of that nature. Now, I can't make grenades. You cannot make grenades for quite a while, but just, you got synth weaving. Synth weaving is the Force users version of defensive stuff, such as your armoring and all of that, whereas archaeology or artifice is more of your offensive. Now, you can also, synth weavers have one benefit when it comes to augments. They can Well, I just found a nice grammatical error. Synth Weavers can also strength, willpower, defense, alacrity, and presence augments, which essentially Synth Weavers can make augments dedicated to strength, willpower, defense, your alacrity, or your presence, and I've explained those skills in a previous video. Now moving on to our non-force user, offensive and defensive stuff. First you have your arms tech. Arms tech is for creating barrels, and it'll create blaster rifles, snipers, pistols, cannons, shotguns, whichever, anything where you're making a firearm, essentially. However, they can also make your endurance, surge, crit, accuracy, and power augments. Now, when it comes to an augment system, I don't have anything with an augment in it, but it's essentially taking and creating an extra mod slot where you can get better stats. At in-game, when you are what's called min-maxing, trying to get the most that you can, augments become very useful. Last up, we got Armor Mech. Armor Mech is for at least on the Imperial side, for the agents and the bounty hunters to make their armor. Now, armor mechs can craft the aim, cunning, shield, and absorb augments. So, as you can see, everybody, when it comes to augments, has some way of making money. Some might be a little bit better than others, depending on the market on your server. Now, real quick, let me double check and make sure I've done all the crew skills. Yes. But this will give you a basic idea of the crew skills, what all they can make. To get them more in-depth, you can actually make them. And actually, if you choose one, let me go to my Cybertech guy here, and you want to see everything you can make, just get up close to them, talk to them, and when your screen pops up, set on both to all, and you can get a good idea of what level you need in Cybertech to make what item. As you can see, crew skills go up to 400. Those of you who get HK 51 for an alt early, pick up a Cybertech so you can at least keep your HK modified. And at least you can get items like this very early on so you can keep modding his armor for him. But as you can see, it goes down. Then we got earpieces. First earpiece takes place right at around 60 for level 50. Keep going down. That's a lot of earpieces. Here's your grenades and mods, but this is how you can view everything that you can make, and especially at higher levels. Now, to those who want some more information about crew skills, say you got a green item right here, if you were to make it. Now, you pop open your screen, if you were to do your reverse engineering, and you had an item that you had made, or it can be reverse engineered, it would still be highlighted. It'll tell you, it'll give you, say, % chance to successfully reverse engineer a schematic. That means you can find an upgraded version, whereas instead of having the green version of Might Armoring 2 right here with +4 strength and +3 endurance, you would get the blue version, which has +5 strength and +4 endurance, I believe, but for the same level as level 9. And the higher up you go, the more materials it would require to make, and there's about a 20% chance of successfully reverse engineering an item. So if you guys want to really get up and making low-level stuff, that's one way to do it. Anyways, I hope this video helps you guys on determining your crew skills. You can always, it's always beneficial to choose one that's more related to your class, but if you just want one for making money, that works too. But I'll be releasing more videos throughout the night, as I gotta go back and do one more Datacron video for Hutta, and then I'll go and do the ones for Korriban. You guys have a good night, please subscribe and stay tuned.